that a one-issue party will rapidly disappear off the political scene?
No, I don't. How can this be a one-issue party? We're talking about whether we are in the future to control our own foreign policy, whether we are to control our own financial policy. Every aspect, every major aspect of our national life is under threat, or at least our ability to make decisions on them is under threat.
But just look around this chamber this morning. Just look at these faces. Look at the fear. Look at the anger. Poor old Barroso here looks like he's seen a ghost. You know, they're beginning to understand that the game is up. And yet, in their desperation to preserve their dream, they want to remove any remaining traces of democracy from the system. They're being told, as their government's collapsing, is that it would be inappropriate for them to have a general election. In fact, Commissioner Wren here said they had to agree their budget first before they'd be allowed to have a general election. Just who the hell do you think you people are? You are very, very dangerous people indeed. Your obsession with creating this Euro state means that you're happy to destroy democracy. You appear to be happy for millions and millions of people to be unemployed and to be poor. The UKIP that actually believes in academic selection, believes in grammar schools, we know they work. And here's another massive issue upon which the electorate will say, well, what's the difference between the Conservative Party and the Labour Party? And the answer clearly is not very much.
Of why don't you shut up and listen for a change? You really must be the vilest, rudest man in European politics. And you rant on, and the chair lets you get away with it because you're the former Prime Minister of Belgium.
I suppose I could applaud you for having a sense of humour, but isn't this really just the bunker mentality? You can call the Juncker investment plan a rip-roaring success. Just have a look around at the empty seats this morning. The Turkish Prime Minister said this week, Turkish membership will be a turning point. Too right. The British Prime Minister has long supported Turkey being a member of this union. In fact, he's fought hard over 10 years for them to join. He doesn't bat an eyelid at the extra £500 million we will stump up to help fund this crisis. A vote to remain is a vote for massively increased immigration into Britain, and a vote to remain is a vote that makes Britain more vulnerable to terrorism. Safer to vote to leave and take back control of our borders. Thank you.
And it's rather a shame that this Parliament, if it was a proper Parliament, would actually select members to sit in the chair on ability and not have the usual big group stitch-up. So that's rather a shame. I assume that you're a Monet professor, are you?
Pardon?
I assume that you're a Monet professor, are you?
I carry that title.
Oh, wonderful. So here you are, talking about honesty and frankness. Wouldn't it have been rather better if before your question you declared an interest in this and explained to these people that you are one of the many academics throughout the universities of the European Union who is effectively paid to indoctrinate people with a certain line of thinking that we have to adopt a European... I mean, come on.
Right across every member state in this union, and perhaps this is why we see the fear in the faces, increasingly people are saying, we don't want that flag, we don't want the anthem, we don't want this political class, we want the whole thing consigned to the dustbin of history. I can see why they chose you. You're perfect. You're like the Euro record that's got stuck in the groove. Completely out-of-date view of what Europe is, and clearly you've learned absolutely nothing from the results of the European elections.
A lot of people in Ireland voted against the Nice Treaty, a lot of people in Ireland voted against the Lisbon Treaty, and then were bullied by an unscrupulous Irish government into voting again. Don't tell me Ireland is not a Eurosceptic country like we are, because it is.
Mr Juncker to tell us this morning that we're making progress. Let's just examine that. 1.8 million people have come to the EU in the last 18 months, and we've sent back 300. Doesn't sound, sir, like it's going very well to me. You have imposed upon them a political union. You've imposed upon them a political union. And when the people in 2005 in the Netherlands and France voted against that political union, when they rejected the Constitution, you simply ignored them and brought the Lisbon Treaty in through the back door. What must count as perhaps the worst piece of public policy seen in modern Europe for half a century, when you compounded the already failing and flawed EU common asylum policy by saying to the whole world, please come to Europe.
dare to dream that the dawn is breaking on an independent, united kingdom. I hope this victory brings down this failed project and leads us to a Europe of sovereign nation states trading together, being friends together, cooperating together, and let's get rid of the flag, the anthem, Brussels, and all that has gone wrong.
Morning.
The sun has risen on an independent, united kingdom. And just look at it, even the weather's improved. Isn't it funny? You know, when I came here 17 years ago, and I said that I wanted to lead a campaign to get Britain to leave the European Union, you all laughed at me. Well, I have to say, you're not laughing now, are you? Let June the 23rd go down in our history as our Independence Day.